In Sister Wives Season 20 Episode 9, Robyn Brown claims she's done pretending. But the real question is, who was pretending in the first place? In this explosive Episode 9 sit-down, Robyn goes head-to-head with Meri and Janelle in what might be their final attempt at healing this broken family. But is this reunion honest, or just a carefully staged performance? There's a strange kind of silence that hangs over Sister Wives Season 20 Episode 9. A silence that isn't peaceful. It's heavy. It's tired. Carries 13 years of heartbreak, betrayal, resentment, and whispered confessions that never made it into those family meetings. And right in the middle of that silence sits Robyn Brown, the last wife standing. But depending on who you ask, Robyn is either the most misunderstood woman on the show or the perfectly polished center of chaos who somehow managed to walk out of every explosion without a single burn mark. That said, something's different in Episode 9. She isn't hiding behind Kody's bravado, she isn't crying into a tissue every 3 minutes, and she isn't trying to keep the family together with those carefully scripted speeches TLC loves to replay. No, this episode gives us a Robyn who looks cornered, pressed, exhausted, and maybe just maybe ready to speak without pretending anymore. The moment the camera zooms in on her face, you can practically feel the tension. She knows Meri and Janelle aren't just walking into this sit-down as ex-sister wives, they're walking in as witnesses. Witnesses to the collapse of a family, witnesses to the unraveling of a man they used to call a husband, and witnesses to every tear Robyn shed that they privately rolled their eyes at. And yes, let's address the elephant in the room early. Robyn is the last one left with Kody. But at what cost? There's a quiet moment right before anyone speaks where you see it hit her. She didn't win. She happened to be the only one who still wanted to play. And that's where this entire episode begins, with Robyn sitting in the reality she built but never expected to be so empty. Let's zoom out and get real for a second. One of the biggest myths that Robyn has been fighting for years is this idea that she broke up the family. She's said it, cried about it, defended herself endlessly. But Episode 9 exposes a different pressure altogether. Being the last wife standing means the story is hers now. Christine would no longer steal the show. No more Janelle to calm things down. No more Meri to absorb the emotional punches. Just Robyn, the only legally bound partner left for a man who has already admitted he doesn't even trust his own emotions anymore. And whether Robyn realizes it or not, Episode 9 sets her up as the new narrator of this fractured family timeline. The problem? The audience doesn't trust her. The ex-wives don't trust her. And honestly, it's not always clear if she trusts herself. Because let's be real, watching Robyn suddenly carrying the entire weight of the Brown legacy feels a bit like watching the last contestant on a sinking reality show yelling, "Wait, guys! We can still fix this." Meanwhile, the ship is halfway underwater and TLC producers are already planning the spin-off. Robyn's giving CEO doing damage control after a PR disaster energy, and Meri and Janelle are giving, "We already filled out the exit paperwork, why am I still here?" And the dynamic is fascinating, not just emotionally but visually. Robyn leans forward, shoulders tight, voice controlled. Meri leans back like she has nothing to lose. Janelle looks done. Absolutely done. She's not here for healing, she's here for closure. It's the kind of body language clash that tells the whole story before anyone has spoken. But below the jokes, below the tension, something profoundly human is happening in Episode 9. Robyn didn't just lose her sister wives. She lost the dream of plural marriage she had centered her whole identity on. This wasn't supposed to happen. She joined this family because she believed in plural love. She believed in sisterhood. She believed in unity. And now she's looking at two women who used to be her partners in this lifestyle, women she really wanted relationships with, and finding out they don't want to stand beside her anymore. This isn't just drama. It's grief. And Episode 9 finally lets that grief show through the cracks. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Why is Robyn suddenly stepping into the truth-teller role in Episode 9? Why is she so focused on calling out pretending, on exposing the emotional fakery she says has been going on for years. Because episode 9 is not about healing. It's about rewriting history. Robyn sees the narrative slipping away. Online commentary is brutal. The ex-wives have found their voices. Public overwhelmingly believe that Robyn gained the most from the family's collapse. So episode 9 becomes her stage for drawing a line in the sand. I wasn't fake. I didn't manipulate anything. I tried harder than anyone else. They were the ones playing pretend. And in that instant, this isn't a reunion of women. It's a courtroom, and Robyn is testifying. The energy in the room shifts when Meri and Janelle take a seat. Robyn stiffens. Janelle crosses her arms. Meri's face is that blank, unreadable, I've already made peace with this stare she's perfected over 15 seasons. Tension is thick enough to slice with a Coyote Pass survey steak. For an instant, you think maybe this is going to be a fight, or a funeral for the family that once was. Because the truth is, this isn't just a conversation. This is the final formation of the Brown family. Robyn, the last wife. Janelle, the pragmatic ex. Meri, the emotionally abandoned ex. Christine, the absent catalyst. Kody, the storm off-screen that caused all of this. And episode 9 locks them into those positions permanently. Now here's the part that will make the viewers lean in. Robyn's whole identity is being reshaped by that one episode. For the first time since she joined the show, she's not the newcomer, not the peacemaker, not the emotional center. She's the last one left, and that comes with a harsh spotlight. What does the last wife standing actually stand for? Is she the loyal one? The naive one? The lucky one? Or the person who held on to something everybody else realized was already dead? And that's the hook for episode 9. Not the land. Not the money. Not the relationships. It's the question. With her no longer being part of a plural marriage, who is Robyn Brown? Section 1 closes on the viewer's eyes locked on Robyn, the woman in the middle of a broken circle. Her voice shakes just slightly. She takes a breath. Then comes the line that just sets the entire episode on fire. I no longer want to do anything that is fake. I don't want us to pretend. And that is where Section 2 will pick up. As we delve into an explanation of what was driving Robyn's attack on fakeness, and why episode 9 exposes the raw truth she's been hiding behind for years. There is a moment in Sister Wives Season 20 Episode 9 that instantly freezes the room. Not because someone yells. Not because anyone walks out. Not even because Kody throws one of his signature emotional monologues. It's because Robyn Brown finally says the one thing she's avoided saying for years. I don't want to do anything fake anymore. And the way she says it? Not soft. Not sweet. Not emotional in that classic Robyn tear cycle. It's blunt. Sharp. It's almost like she's been waiting for this moment to unload this sentence, a confession she rehearsed in the mirror. Now let's break down what this actually means. Robyn has always played the peacekeeper. She's the one who gives speeches about unity. She's the one who cries about the family falling apart. She's the one who believes the family could still work, even when everyone else has already packed up their emotional suitcases and left. But in episode 9, she's done pretending that she's part of a functioning plural marriage. And she's definitely done pretending that she, Meri, and Janelle are on the same page. It isn't just a catchphrase, it's no more fakeness. It's an accusation. It's Robyn looking straight at the ex-wives and basically saying, you two were pretending long before the family fell apart, and I'm tired of carrying the blame. This is not an offering of peace. This is just a redirection of guilt. A soft-spoken battle cry. 'Cause let's be real, when Robyn says she's done with the fakeness, the internet collectively leans back and goes, Robyn, sweetie, you are tired of pretending? The same woman who cried every time Kody raised his voice. The same woman who tried to blend the family by giving everyone matching Christmas ornaments. The same woman who, for a decade, was saying, "I just want us to be a family again," while she sat in the mansion the rest of them never even visited. That Robyn is now suddenly the warrior of authenticity? Alright, TLC. Let's roll with it. 'Cause sarcasm aside, this is a real turning point for her. For the first time, Robyn admits something she's never said this directly before. She's been pretending too. Playing that the marriages were well. Posing that Kody treated them all fairly. Just pretending that the sisterhood existed. As if the trauma could be bandaged with a family meeting. And if you look closely, you can see that Robyn is exhausted. Not the mascara-streaked, crying Robyn exhaustion. This is deeper. She is a woman who genuinely thought that being part of the Brown family was her calling, and now the universe has folded the dream right in front of her. Her eyes have that haunted look of someone who realizes the life she defended for over a decade may have never existed the way she thought it did. Now, here's where things get strategically interesting. Why make this statement now? Episode 9 is filmed months after the family imploded. Tensions have cooled. Everyone has processed their grief in a different manner. And the ex-wives aren't emotionally reactive anymore. Meri is emotionally numb. Janelle is emotionally unavailable. Christine is emotionally thriving somewhere off-screen with some nachos and freedom. So, it's symbolic that Robyn has picked this moment to say, "No more pretending." She's attempting to take back the narrative. Viewers have been questioning her authenticity since season 16. Since she arrived, the ex-wives have been questioning her intentions. Even Kody himself has hinted at times that Robyn is too emotional and makes things harder. So this sentence is her response to years of criticism. It's Robyn saying, "I wasn't the problem. The family was broken long before I got here." What makes this moment electric is how Meri and Janelle respond. They never argue. They don't snap back. They don't roll their eyes. Well, Janelle almost does, but she holds it in. Instead, they do something way more powerful. They remain silent. That silence is louder than any argument they could have made. 'Cause that silence says, "We're not pretending anymore either, but quite frankly, we don't agree with your truth." Robyn's voice cracks slightly as she realizes they're not going to support her version of events. She expected tears. She expected sympathy. She waited for someone to say, "You're right, Robyn, we've all been fake." But what she got were two finally free women. And that's when her next line lands like a blow. "You were acting like everything was fine when it wasn't." Now this is where the audience goes wild. 'Cause Robyn finally calls out what she thinks broke the family. Emotional distance. Unspoken resentment. Superficial interactions. A sisterhood that never lived up to its promise. She basically says, "Don't blame me for the collapse, blame the years of emotional dishonesty everyone participated in." But here's the thing. The ex-wives disagree. They've been very clear the issue wasn't fakeness. It was favoritism. It was inequality. It was being emotionally starved when Robyn got everything they were being denied. Feels to them, the viewers, like a reversal of reality that Robyn is calling them fake. And that's why episode 9 hits so hard, because it forces everyone, including Robyn herself, to face conflicting truths. But let's give Robyn something she rarely gets: empathy. She's hurt. Deeply. When she says she's tired of pretending, it's not only an accusation. It's a confession. She's tired of pretending Kody isn't burning bridges faster than he can rebuild them. She's tired of pretending the ex-wives want to heal when they're ready to move on. Tired of faking that she could handle 4 marriages' emotional load all by her lonesome. She's tired of being the symbol of the family because the symbol is blamed when the structure falls. And this moment is the crack in her voice where the truth leaks out. Robyn's "no more fakeness" statement contains, in fact, 3 layers. Layer 1. The accusation she thinks Meri and Janelle were acting in their marriages long before the split. Layer 2. The defense she said she felt like she was the only one who was willing to fight for unity, though the others had already checked out. Layer 3. The deflection calling everyone else fake diverts the subject away from favoritism, inequality, and her role within the family dynamic. It's not malicious, it's self-preservation. Camera captures a small moment that most viewers would miss. Robyn looks at Meri as if she expects backup. She expects the woman who defended Kody for years, even when it hurt her the most, to stand with her now. But Meri doesn't. And that is when Robyn's whole reality shifts. Because if Meri, the most loyal wife in Brown family history, won't validate her truth, then Robyn is truly alone in this. And that's the irony of this entire episode. Robyn is tired of fakeness, but she's the only one still trying to keep the illusion alive. Everyone else has accepted this fact. The plural marriage is over. Robyn is the only one still holding the pieces and insisting the puzzle could be put back together, if only the past hadn't been so fake. By the end of her speech, Robyn isn't angry anymore. She's heartbroken, and her voice breaks on the final point. I just wanted us to be real. Real. Authentic. Connected. Unified. But the truth is, the Brown family hasn't been real for a long, long time. And no sooner has she said this than all eyes are on Meri and Janelle, the two women who lived through the same history Robyn just redefined. Their faces say it all. If you think we were pretending, you have no idea what we survived. And that is where Section 3 begins, as we delve into the reactions of Meri and Janelle, the silence, the tension, the hidden meaning, and whether their emotions are authentic or also a performance. I don't want to do anything fake anymore. The whole room shifts. But because of what comes next, Meri and Janelle did not bat an eye. Don't react. Don't defend. They just sit there. And in Sister Wives Season 20 Episode 9, that silence is more explosive than any screaming match this family has ever had. This isn't the silence of agreement. It's the silence of two women that have already buried the past and are watching Robyn dig it back up like she's trying to exhumate a ghost. Let's break down the body language because it tells a richer story than the dialogue. Meri's reaction, the numb survivor. Meri sits back, relaxed in the shoulders, hands in her lap, almost eerily calm. She's not angry. She's not emotional. She's not fragile. This is the woman who spent years being emotionally benched by Kody. A woman who begged for closeness and got crumbs in return. And now that she's finally out, she carries with her the energy of one who's survived the storm and refuses to step back into the rain. So when Robyn says, "You were pretending," Meri's silence says it all. I am not going to relive the hurt only to validate your perspective. It's not indifference. That's emotional self-protection. Janelle's reaction, the quiet explosion. Janelle, on the other hand, has a different vibe. She folds her arms. Her jaw tightens just a little. Her eyes narrow no more than that, but enough to indicate, I could respond, but I won't. This is the same woman who walked away after Kody blamed her sons, her loyalty, and her independence for the collapse of the family. So, Janelle didn't react? That's not calm. That's controlled fury. It's the don't poke the bear version of silence. And honestly, you have to admire the comedic timing. Robyn delivers her dramatic monologue about fakeness, like she's starring as the lead actress in some TLC courtroom drama. Ma'am, we're tired. And it fizzles. Just smoke. No spark. No boom. Robyn anticipated retaliation. She was bored. She had expected tears. She got politely blank faces. She expected the wives to participate in her truth. They're avoiding it because they've already processed it. Robyn is just now having her emotional breakdown about the family falling apart. Meri had hers in Season 15. Janelle had hers in Season 17. Christine had hers in Season 16 and left. Robyn is grieving in real time. The other wives are grieving in hindsight. They're emotionally miles apart. So while Robyn is reliving every wound, Meri and Janelle are healed over the scars. And that's why their reactions feel so subdued. Not because they're fake, but because they're finally free. Let's look deeper at their silence. When Meri's silence equals, I've said everything I needed to say. She wanted connection. She wanted validation. She wanted to be chosen. Episode 9 finally shows her at peace with not being chosen anymore. She doesn't correct Robyn. She doesn't defend herself. She doesn't justify her past. She's not the Meri from seasons 2 to 10 who desperately sought approval. She's the Meri who rebuilt her identity outside the Brown family. Silence is her closure. To Janelle, silence equals, your truth isn't my truth. Janelle lived a very different experience from Robyn. Quietly. Tension upon tension. Disappointment after disappointment. So when Robyn calls her marriage fake, the silence of Janelle simply says, I lived my truth. You don't get to rewrite it. It's not passive. It's powerful. But here's where things get fascinating. Camera focuses on a tiny detail. Janelle's foot starts tapping. Not aggressively. Not impatiently. Just enough to signal agitation. And that foot tap tells the whole story. Janelle isn't calm. She's holding back. For if she answers, the truth will not be kind. This is the same woman who told Kody to stop working the cameras. The one woman who called out favoritism when nobody else would. The woman who was blamed for the family's falling apart pushed back. So trust she has a lot to say. She just chooses fire over peace. And here's the plot twist that viewers never see. The silence actually reveals Robyn's biggest fear. Because the more the ex-wives keep quiet, they don't need the family anymore. But she does. The whole identity of Robyn was connected with the plural family. Her marriage to Kody was only meaningful within that structure. Her spiritual story, her personal sacrifices, her loyalty. It was all built on the belief of plural marriage being her destiny. So when she looks across the room in episode 9 and sees that Meri and Janelle no longer care enough to fight, something inside Robyn breaks. She's not just losing sister wives. Her expression changes from frustration to heartbreak. Her eyes soften. Her shoulders drop. She pulls back slightly as if physically hurt. This is real grief. Because for years, Robyn thought she was doing everything right. Respecting the marriages. Supporting the wives. Standing by Kody. Fighting for unity. Her pain is real even if her interpretation is flawed. And here's the truth that becomes undeniable. Meri and Janelle aren't performing. Only Robyn is left in the story. Meri is aloof. Janelle is determined. Christine is long gone. Robyn is the last one who still believes this family could have been saved. And that's why their reactions sting her so deeply. Robyn nods slowly. She says yes. She believes their marriages were emotionally checked out long before the split. She uncrosses her arms, leans forward, and then stops herself. The restraint is more powerful than any monologue. Because in that instant, viewers know Janelle has the kind of truth that could burn it all to ash. She simply won't strike the match. By the end of section 3, the dynamic is crystal clear. Meri has become dissociated from the pain. Janelle refuses to re-engage in a conflict that's already over. None of this is fake. None of it is staged. It is 3 women who lived the same story, but came out of it with 3 completely different realities. And that leads us into section 4, the turning point of the episode. What's actually at stake now? What is being divided? Because section 4 is not only about land or money, it's about legacy. And that's where things get messy. If there was ever a moment in Sister Wives season 20 episode 9 where the tension stopped being emotional and suddenly turned material, it's here. Because for a decade we've watched the Browns cry, argue, split up, reconcile, implode, and rebuild. But this, where things get real, is right here. Money. Property, legacy, ownership, future. These aren't feelings. These are stakes. And episode 9 drags them out into the open like skeletons that can't stay hidden in a plural marriage closet anymore. The shift from tears to territory. Until now, Robyn versus the exes has looked emotional. Hurt feelings, broken trust, spiritual betrayal. But then someone mentions the deed. Someone says Coyote Pass. Someone says my share. Robyn stiffens. Janelle leans forward. Meri's eyes sharpen like she finally has something concrete to defend. And Kody? He gets that familiar defensiveness that only appears when his version of the story isn't matching the reality around him. 'Cause it's not just a breakup anymore. It's not even a plural marriage divorce. It's a division of an empire that no longer exists. Episode 9 forces all of them to face one truth. You can leave the marriage, but you cannot walk away without dealing with the land. Let's be upfront. Robyn has always seen Coyote Pass as her family's future. She thought, a big house, holidays together, kids running from yard to yard, a future of stability, a storyline that ended in success instead of shattering. But episode 9 exposes a deeper truth. Robyn didn't just lose relationships. She lost the entire dream that she married into. And so, when she sits on that couch and says she can't stand fakeness, this is the moment she stops being emotional and gets territorial. Because if the family is gone, what happens to the land? What happens to the investment? What of the structure that was supposed to be her safety net? What Robyn has at stake isn't just emotional. It works. Logistical. It's financially tied. And episode 9 reveals she knows this. Janelle's stake, my rights, my share, my work. Every fan knows. Janelle is the only wife who ever really cared about the land because she actually wished to live on it. She planned the layout. She paid down the lots. She held on to that dream when all the others had walked away. And it is during episode 9 when the topic shifts to property that Janelle's whole manner changes. Zero tolerance. No pretending. Her voice becomes firm, almost legalistic. She speaks with authority. And she finally says the thing she's been holding back. I earn my part of that land. I'm not just walking away empty-handed. This is the moment viewers lean in because this isn't about feelings anymore. It's about fairness. And for Janelle, fairness means a decade of rent paid into the family, bills covered, childcare managed, being the financial engine when no one else stepped up, building a dream she was eventually pushed out of. Janelle's interest is justified, practical, documented, earned. She knows her worth. Kody knows this, even as he feigns otherwise. And Robyn? She looks terrified every time Janelle speaks about assets because Janelle speaks from facts, not emotion. Meri's stake. The last piece of what I built. The emotional exit from marriage, however, was gradual, slow, and stretched out over years of heartbreak and spiritual limbo. Meri's not done fighting. Not for Kody. Not for the marriage. But for her share in the family's property and assets. For Meri, land isn't acres of dirt. Symbolic. It's the final piece of her identity within the Brown family, the last tie that proves she wasn't just the ex-wife who stayed too long, or the outsider, or the one who never truly belonged. When Meri refers to Coyote Pass in episode 9, she does so in a surprisingly forceful tone. No timidness. No stepping back. No emotional collapse. Instead, she speaks like a person who spent years being minimized, finally reclaiming the last part of her contribution. Meri's stake is emotional and financial, a rare combination for her. And that's why the moment hits hard. Kody's stake. The story he's trying to rewrite. Here's where episode 9 gets uncomfortable, because when the topic turns to property, Kody suddenly slips into a different mode. Not husband. Not father. not spiritual leader. He tries to reshape history: who paid what, who deserves what, who contributed, who left the family first, who sacrificed. It's his classic pattern: downplay the wives' contributions, overstate his own effort, rewrite timelines, shift blame, add emotional reasoning to monetary issues. But this time, the wives aren't buying it. Not even Meri. He cannot hide behind spiritual responsibility when it relates to land, numbers, and legal ownership. And for the first time in years, Kody really looks cornered this time. The unexpected stakeholder. Robyn's fear of the future. One of the most telling moments of episode 9 isn't angry, it's anxious. Robyn admits she's scared to be left with all the responsibility if it weren't for the other wives. This line says it all. Because what she really means is, the mortgage, the land payments, the debt, the future bills, the fact that the big plural family pool of finances no longer exists. This is the one moment in which Robyn sounds raw, honest, and unfiltered, and it explains her intensity through the entire episode. She's not only angry, she's not just hurt. She's not simply disappointed, she's scared. Coyote Pass was supposed to secure her future. Now it might ruin it. The central question: who controls the Brown family's future? As episode 9 builds toward its quiet climax, the table is set. Janelle wants her financial rights respected. Meri wants her final piece of identity acknowledged. Robyn wants the dream she was promised. Kody wants control over the narrative. And here's the twist that the show never says directly, but episode 9 makes painfully clear: there is no longer a Brown family to build the land for. Sold? Fought over? Abandoned? Transferred into one wife's name? Turned into a legal battle? Episode 9 doesn't give answers because it doesn't have them. But it gives something much more dramatic: an unequivocal sense of what each is fighting for. And suddenly, the emotional conflict of the episode becomes deeper, heavier, and far more explosive. The real break: the day the land stopped being ours. The last few seconds of Section 4 reveal the brutal truth. This family is no longer negotiating reconciliation. Not just of hearts, not just of emotions, but of assets. Not only of past, but of future. Because in episode 9, the wives aren't fighting for the marriage anymore. They're fighting for the last thing left of it. There comes a point in Sister Wives Season 20 Episode 9 when the tenor of the entire conversation shifts. Not because somebody yells, not because someone cries, and not because of someone storming out. It shifts because suddenly, you can feel the realization dawning on each person. Maybe they're not here to heal. Maybe they're here to perform. Not for social media. Not for fans. Not even for each other. But for closure. For image. For control. For narration. The last word in a story that has already been told. This section gets to the heart of the episode. Was this reunion real? Or was it just a last dramatic performance for a family that no longer exists? The energy in the room. We're not a family anymore, but we still act like 1 inch. Watch closely and you'll notice something unsettling about the sit-down for episode 9. Everyone is speaking to each other, but nobody really is with each other. It's as if 4 different people were sitting on the same couch, each in a different reality. Robyn's reality. They left us. They broke the family. They abandoned the dream. Janelle's reality. No, you two forced us out. You replaced us. You broke it. Meri's reality. I was erased slowly and painfully, and now you're shocked I'm gone? Kody's reality. I tried. They didn't. I'm the victim of their selfishness. This is where the question of healing versus performing cannot possibly be avoided anymore. For healing requires truth. Performance requires narrative. And what we see in episode 9 is 4 people holding to their narrative as if it's the only oxygen available. Robyn's struggle. I want healing, but on my terms. There's a moment, brief but powerful, in which Robyn says she wants everyone to move forward honestly. She wants clarity. She wants unity. She wants forgiveness. But beneath the softness, the sniffles, the emotional tremble in her voice is something else. Robyn only wants healing if the healing proves she wasn't the problem. This is the uncomfortable truth that the episode dances around. Robyn says she's tired of pretenders, tired of fake smiles, tired of acting okay to keep the family together. But episode 9 exposes something bigger. If any healing is to work, Robyn needs the ex-wives to affirm her version of history. She needs Meri to admit she didn't try hard enough, Janelle to admit she abandoned the family, Christine to remain the villain even when absent, Kody to stay aligned with her, the world to see her as the only stable, committed wife who stayed. This isn't healing. It's damage control masquerading as vulnerability. And the ex-wives know it. Janelle's stance. I'm done performing. What Janelle does in episode 9 completely flips the energy. Authentic detachment. She's not angry. She's not crying. She's not trying to fix anything. She is done. Done in the most peaceful manner and unperformative as possible. Her tone isn't dramatic. It's fact. Measured. Controlled. Janelle doesn't sugarcoat. She doesn't exaggerate. She doesn't sensationalize. She just tells the truth. The marriage is over. You changed. The family didn't feel equal anymore. We're not coming back from this. In episode 9, Janelle is the only one who walks in without having anything to prove. That is why her honesty stings the most. And it's why her presence makes the others uncomfortable, because someone who isn't performing exposes those who are. Meri's transformation. The quiet woman speaks the loudest. Now let's get to the true shock of episode 9. Meri finally comes out into the open. For years, Meri has been the quiet one, passive one, the emotional punching bag, the trying too hard wife, the one who kept believing long past the expiration date. But in episode 9, something shifts. Meri arrives with a different energy, not angry, not defeated, but awake. She listens without shrinking. She responds without an apology. She maintains eye contact without fear. There is one moment which defines her entire arc. The entire room tenses up the moment Meri calmly says she felt pushed out emotionally years before divorce. 'Cause Meri has never said it with that much clarity before. She's not performing. She is not being dramatic. She's not trying to win anyone back. She is only telling the truth she swallowed over a decade. And when a tense reunion ensues, Meri's truth cuts through the performance like a blade. Kody's response, I want healing, but I want control more. There's one thing episode 9 shows about Kody clearer than ever, it is this. When one party to the conversation will not accept responsibility, healing cannot occur. Every time a wife speaks her truth, Kody responds with rationalization, deflection, spiritual justification, emotional excuses, resentment rebranded as leadership, revisionist history. His version of healing sounds like, let's forgive each other, but mostly let's all agree that I was right. This is why the reunion cannot become real reconciliation. Because Kody isn't trying to understand the wives. He's trying to convince them. Convince them that they misremember. Convince them they're overreacting. Convince them that they were the ones who drifted. Convince them the collapse wasn't his doing. Convince them his choices were noble, not destructive. This isn't healing. It's image management. And the wives refuse to play along. The uncomfortable truth. They're all saying goodbye in disguise. This is where the episode becomes haunting. Everyone speaks as if they want to mend something. But listen closely. They are making their closing statements now. Robyn's last message. You hurt me. You left me alone with him. And I still don't understand why. Janelle's last message. I am at peace without you. I don't need this marriage, nor do I need this chaos. Meri's final message. I mattered more than you allowed, and I'm reclaiming myself now. Kody's final message. I tried to lead you. You didn't follow. And now I'm rewriting the story to survive it. Episode 9 isn't a conversation about healing. It's a conversation about letting go, without uttering a word. The performance, what each person is still trying to protect. Even when truth eventually breaks through, each one still clings to something. A tiny performance that protects them from full vulnerability. Robyn is safeguarding her image of loyalty. Janelle is protecting her peace. Meri is safeguarding her dignity. Kody is protecting his authority. And since each of them protects something different, healing is impossible. They are not speaking to connect. They're speaking to clarify their legacy. What was my role? How will I be remembered? Who was right? Who was wrong? Who is blamed? Who gets absolved? This isn't a family meeting. It's a final deposition. The most honest moment of the episode. The episode's rawest moment happens subtly. A fine line which is almost invisible. Impossible to forget, but a memory nonetheless. Robyn says in a cracking voice, "This is not how it was supposed to end. Voilibalat und plötzlich ist alles klar." That one sentence reveals the whole truth of episode 9. They're not trying to heal the past. They're trying to work out how they became the ending they never imagined. This is the point when performances start to fall. Where the masks fall. Where the emotional walls thin just enough to see the humanity beneath them. They are not villains. They are not heroes. They aren't perfect. They are not monsters. They are persons standing in the ashes of a dream that outgrew them and then collapsed under its own weight. So, was this reunion real? Here is the answer that episode 9 gives us without ever saying it out loud. The emotions were real. Pain was real. The history was real. But the attempt to heal the family? That was the performance. Not because they're fake, but because healing requires something they no longer have. A shared life. A shared purpose. A future together. Without it, all they can do is revisit the past. From 4 completely different angles that will never align. And that is heartbreaking. And human strange and poetically. What does this mean going forward? The reunion doesn't fix the family. Doesn't bring anyone back. It doesn't rebuild trust. Doesn't revive the dream. But what it does do is give every person the emotional permission to follow their own path. Janelle proceeds forward with independence. Meri moves ahead with identity. Robyn moves forward, her fear and hope inextricably linked. With a new, smaller, quieter reality, Kody moves on. This isn't healing. This is post-healing. When the wound is closed but the scar is still tender. When the story is complete but the echoes remain. When the ashes are settled and each person finally says, "We can't fix what broke. We can only stop pretending and move on." And that is the real finale of episode 9.